But, like, back in the day, like, at least what I remember when I started, like, learning about fitness, which was through just the gen pop idea of bodybuilding stuff, like most people, it's like most people didn't have any idea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just like, "Oh, I wanna be big and jacked like that guy. I'll take creatine, protein powder, and BCAAs." 'Kay, interesting thing.
Okay. Are you
I'm finding it interesting.
are you positive that I don't know what it is?
No, but I would take bets that you don't, just because
Okay.
this isn't a thing that you would follow. But I was thinking about it because we watched that Jake Paul
Mhm.
documentary thing. So, Logan Paul is doing a fight. Are you aware of this? Okay, so they're all doing these, like, celebrity boxing matches, right? I don't know, I guess he counts as a boxer now, so I don't even know if it counts as a celebrity boxing match, I don't know. It depends on how you see the sport of boxing. I don't care, I don't have anything in the fight, but whatever. So he has a boxing match, scheduled with someone named Dylan Dennis. Do you know who that is? Okay, so he used to be in, like, Conor McGregor's training camp, some type of training for Conor, when Conor was fighting Khabib Nurmagomedov in, like, 2018 or something, and, that fight was crazy because Khabib and obviously Conor's, like, all of his, like, shit talking was, like, pretty intense, right? That's his thing, is just selling the fight and whatever, and Khabib's, like, a very devout Muslim,
Mm.
so very principled and not inappropriate as far as, like, things he's willing to say, and, and so there's a lot of, like, lead up into that fight. Khabib ended up winning, and then at the end of the fight, Khabib jumped the ring right away and went after, Dylan Dennis. And it
Okay.
was like a huge brawl. Everyone's people, like, were fighting. It was huge, and it was massive. And, so Dylan Dennis was, like, kind of famous for that. There was, like,
So
because
who
he instigated, he went
Oh,
after
okay.
Dylan. So, there was this meme that went around. I remember I memed it. It was so good because there's this everyone memed this thing. It was this photo that someone caught of Khabib jumping over the rings with, like, flying like this with his feet out like this. It was so sick. It's a sick shot. And, Dylan Dennis is, like, standing there. It's so cool. He's caught midair. Anyways, Dylan Dennis is now fighting Logan Paul, and, right now so Logan Paul got engaged to his, I guess, fiancée now, and it was relatively recently, and I guess she's been with a lot of other celebrities or something. I don't know the history there, but Dylan, Dennis, he's been, like, finding all of these photos that are all out there, public knowledge, and
Mm.
he's posting all of them. So any photos that she has with other celebrities, some of them are, like, uncomfortable, and apparently he's posted some nudes. So obviously whatever, but apparently they're public. I don't know. But, this is him, like, promoting the fight and whatnot, and it's like, I don't know, I just listened to him on a podcast, like, talking about it, yesterday. How he's just like they're, like, asking him, they're like, "Do you think you're going too far on this?" Da, 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 and he's like, "No, I don't think so." He's like, "All this stuff is, like, public, it's all out there." But he's like, Logan's, like, talking like he might actually, like, pull the fight because he's definitely, like, bothered by it. He sent me, like, a legal notice, like a cease and desist or whatever to stop posting these photos. He got taken off Twitter, all this stuff. Um, but I don't know. I was just like I was literally thinking about it because, we watched that, like, Jake Paul
Yeah.
documentary and how, like, these guys are very good at, like, show business.
Promoting.
Yeah, promoting. But it's interesting because, like, Logan's not selling the fight
Yeah.
at all, but this other guy is, right? I don't know, it's kinda strange. Like, would you in a situation like that for you, actually, because you understand the level actually, bodybuilding a little bit has a bit of that as far as, like, entertaining. You're
Mhm.
in an entertainment space.
Mhm.
But, like, do you think stuff like that, like, you could deal with understanding that someone's selling the fight? Because, like, Logan understands show business, but he's taking this personally
Yeah.
because it's his wife or almost his wife, right?
But maybe that's the point. Maybe he's taking it personally on purpose.
But, I mean, he could have just, clapped back and made it way bigger.
No,
But
but
he's trying to shut it down now.
this is what I'm saying. Like giving the cease and desist, kind of trying back. It's not his character, which makes people more interested. Why is he acting like this? Why isn't he just clapping back? And then they get more into it. I think it's part of it.
Maybe, but like he's threatening to like pull the fight, which they very well might, right? I don't know.
I don't know, but I'm
Maybe.
just thinking maybe that's part of it.
I don't know.
I
Would it
don't
bother you? Like,
uh
could you live with that?
yeah, because like I get a million comments like
You could separate that feeling of like, okay, this is just show business, even though I think it is appropriate and I wouldn't do it. I can accept it. You know what I
yes.
mean? Like if you're Logan's wife, like how do you deal with that?
Um
It's like, okay, that's a
if
problem.
if I'm engaged to him, I would have already told him all this stuff.
Like
I would
your
have told him
perspective.
who I've been with, pictures that are out there that people have access to. I might have shown him myself,
Yeah.
especially if he's that high profile. So maybe she didn't do that, and that's the issue.
Mm-hmm.
Because now he's seeing all this for the first time, and now he's contemplating the fight and his engagement.
Yeah.
Which is hard. He's still a human.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like if I was getting, I mean, I get I get comments all the time. It doesn't affect me at all.
Does it actually
I've
not?
never, yeah, really doesn't. I don't you lose a blink of sleep over it.
So I trust you, but do you think actually there's not like, does it ever, do you just shut it down right away or like, how do
It
you?
doesn't bug me at all because
Yeah.
these
Okay.
people, it would only really hurt me if it was someone that I was potentially like a bodybuilding friend with, commenting publicly, bringing me down. That has never happened.
Right. So the
It's
idea that
these
it's
no name people. I don't know.
right.
It would only like hit if it was like someone I cared about
Gotcha.
commenting like, "Oh, listen to her voice,"
Right.
and it was like my mom on a
Yeah.
post,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
mom, what?
Yeah.
I don't
Since
know
it's
who
people you don't care about their
Johnny
opinion.
Rock's dump
69
truck
420.
is. Yeah, like
Johnny Rock's dump truck.
like I don't know, right? Like I don't know who he is.
Yeah.
I don't
Right.
care if what he thinks about
Yeah.
my
Yeah. Yeah.
body, my voice, my
No,
sport,
it's good.
it's not a sport, you're in a beauty pageant. Cool. I like beauty.
Because
Like
I love, uh, I mean, I think there's a way to like behave in life that's appropriate, and there's a way
yeah,
to not behave.
yeah,
Now, I wouldn't do what he's doing
yeah.
to sell this fight, but there's like, if I'm not gonna lie, like I love when it comes to like selling UFC fights or any other fights. I would follow UFC more than anything else, but like I love the lead up. Like
Yeah.
I actually like it more than the fights typically. Because I like the entertainment and the drama leading up to it. For whatever reason, like I prefer that as opposed to even the crescendo.
This is why the Olympia is the biggest bodybuilding show of the year because they promote for the audience. Whereas an amateur show or a regional amateur show or whatever, they promote for the competitors. They want more competitors in their show, but they don't necessarily promote for an audience. Whereas the Olympia is like, we have the top competitors. We're not promoting for competitors, we're promoting for the audience, which is
Gotcha.
what you have to do if you want a big show. That's why it's the biggest
You
show.
want people to come pay tickets and watch.
Exactly. You want it's so I was talking to someone about this the other day and I was like, if bodybuilding wasn't primarily for entertainment to an audience, we would all get judged behind closed doors.
Right.
You'd show up with your class, there'd be judges, there'd be zero audience.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'd post about on social media, I won. And everyone's like, cool, I wasn't there.
Right.
Right? It
Right.
needs any type of sport. If the audience wasn't there, nothing.
Right. So there has to be an entertaining factor.
Has to be entertainment is pretty much the first factor. Second factor would be getting contestants, athletes, and judges. And then third's like behind the scenes stuff.
So in the bodybuilding world, from that from that perspective, do you appreciate and think there's value for the sport and the industry when you see more like bombastic, polarizing figures that like have interesting personalities that have strong opinions? Like, do you think that's a good thing?
Yeah, because it gets, or when bodybuilders venture out into a little bit more mainstream things, like Arnold, right? People know what bodybuilding is because of him.
Right.
Like if you say bodybuilding, still to this day, he's the first name people Gen Pop say because he went into their world. Right? He went into acting. He was governor. Like he dove so far into like the Gen Pop's day-to-day things.
Stuff they know.
That
they know movies,
right?
they
so
know
now,
politics.
Now slowly you might see it maybe eventually with C-Bum. Um, he might be the new kinda he's not there yet. Gen Pop still wouldn't know who Chris Bumstead is.
Mhm.
Um, pretty much every gym goer does know who he is, but,
Mhm.
um, so yeah, if that like and then in terms of the fitness industry, the people that are, like, kinda out there a bit, like Kai Green. Everyone knows who Kai Green is in the fitness industry because he was, like, kinda out there,
Mhm.
right? Um, and yeah, so I agree with what you're saying. I think it's not bad for the sport, I think it's good for the sport. I think it's appropriate at the pro level because they used to have at the Olympia, the Thursday, they had the press conference. It was all like everyone talking
I've
crap to
seen
each
that.
other. Yeah,
Yeah, do they not
it's
do that anymore?
kinda gotten lame. Sorry.
I'm confused.
It's
Do they
gotten
do that?
a version of it. They used to all
Okay. So,
sit
like, what's the difference?
they used to all sit at tables.
I think I can picture it.
Bob Chick would, like they'd all have mics and they'd
Yes.
be like, "So and so didn't diet, his glutes are watery." And,
Oh,
like
okay.
you know what I mean?
I don't remember seeing stuff like that, but I
When you
remember
remember
I have a
seeing
picture in my head of seeing it, like, I think when BPAC was there. I don't know
Okay.
how often he,
It
qualified
was a
for
long
the
time ago, yeah.
yeah, it would've been a while back. But,
I
that's,
love
like,
you,
the picture
B-Pack.
I have. I just don't remember, like, what they said.
Yeah, they just
But it was interesting enough I was
it's like
watching it.
they'd be like "Ben, did you even ever diet?" And it would just get in his head of like, you're so lean and depleted by then, you're like, "Am I too fat for this show?"
Well, they say
Like,
that's
it would
what
just
Arnold
get
used to do, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Arnold would do it like the whole prep.
That's one of the best things about,
So
like, sports, though, is that the psych game.
yeah,
Like, that's awesome. I
yeah.
wish there was more of
So
that.
what they do now or what they did last year was they didn't have the tables. They just had like a couple people come out at once from the same division
Mhm.
and kind of like it was almost like one-on-one and then they would talk to each other one-on-one.
Oh, yeah?
That was it.
Okay.
Trash talk one-on-one.
Why? You would think
I
you would
don't know.
wanna, like, even manufacture drama.
They're trying to make changes, but I don't think that was broken.
Okay.
Right? Because they're already moving it from Vegas to Florida.
Mhm. What's the
Um,
reason for that?
just internal beef, I think.
With venues and stuff? Or
No, with so the CEO or whatever of the Olympia was having beef with I don't know, someone in the IFBB or something.
Mhm.
I don't know. Don't quote me on any of that.
Yeah.
There was some type of beef, and I think that's why they moved it to Florida.
Gotcha.
But it was so cool in Vegas. This is why I was like hyping it up in my head so much because Vegas was so sick for the Olympia. Because
Yeah,
I
I
wasn't
bet.
going there to party.
Yeah.
I don't think I had one drink.
Yeah.
I had an amazing weekend in Vegas. Like the gyms we went to were like the gyms Jay Cutler used to train at. Like stuff like that.
He lived in Vegas? That's cool.
The Olympia winners pretty much moved to and lived in Vegas.
Oh,
So
really?
they could
Just
be
for that
right
reason?
there. They wouldn't have to travel for
Yeah.
the Olympia.
Gotcha.
They were in the same environment. They were eating the same foods. Like they wanted to keep winning, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself getting to Olympia?
Oh yeah.
You could do
Let's
it?
do it.
In what division?
I don't know. Let's get the pro card first and then we'll take the next step.
Because the Olympia would be the Super Bowl of
It's
bodybuilding.
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know, having the pleasure to go to one Olympia as an athlete would be like overwhelming.
Totally.
I'd probably be done after that.
How big is it? Like, how many athletes? There's a lot, eh?
Yeah, because now they changed. So they've been trying to iron out the qualification details too. So as of right now, if you win a pro show, doesn't matter what pro show, because they used to have A-level pro shows, B-level pro shows, and C-level pro shows, depending on where it was. And then there was a point system, and people could get in the point. You win a pro show, you're at the Olympia. That's it. Keep it simple.
Cool.
Because it ended up being like 50 something classic physique competitors.
Yeah.
And then it was so watered down by the end that it was like, there's just way too many guys.
So
There's just way too many guys.
for these big boys,
Mm.
how annoying is it for them to, like, do basic living tasks? Like, even traveling? Like, flying in an airplane on, like, economy.
Oh, they wouldn't do economy.
They couldn't do it
They would do first class.
because he wouldn't fit.
Yeah. Or some of them would drive
Yeah, okay.
because they wouldn't want to risk the water retention.
I don't even mean that. Forget
Oh.
about competition. Just the fact that, like, you're 300 pounds.
Oh, you're talking off season, like
I mean,
big
some of them
boy,
are 300 stage, aren't they? Stage
like
weight?
only big Rammy.
Oh, okay.
They like big boys. They're probably 250 to 280 is like
On the
real
stage?
is big on stage,
Okay,
huge on
gotcha.
stage.
So they're like 300 plus
Because
off
like
season.
super heavyweight in amateur is 225 plus.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So if
Gotcha.
you're super heavyweight, say you're even like as an amateur 230, 235, that's a big amateur. And then pros are bigger. Right. But it
Okay.
also is like how you hold that weight. Do you look bigger? Your everything, genetics, joints, waist. Right. Someone could be 260 and look bigger than a
Mhm.
280.
Right. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So
All the
I forget
perception.
how we got to this
The
conversation.
yeah, I don't know.
My brain 2 inches in.
I'm fascinated by this whole like this this Dylan Danis thing on
Oh,
Twitter.
yeah.
That's why. Because I love following uh I love following the hype up to a fight. I like following that. So I'm like interested to see what'll happen. Because I'm like, I won't even watch this fight.
Oh,
But I
yeah.
will follow the lead up to it. 'Cause it's exciting.
The
Like,
lead up is like the excitement, which is like kind of like, I guess the only part where the lead up is not as exciting as the actual event is prep. Like
right.
the lead up is whatever, it's part of the journey, but like show day is like the most fun. Getting there is hard, right?
Gotcha. Yeah.
But these types of events, right? Like even like if they do like a movie premiere, right? You could be like, "Oh, I'm so hyped to see this movie."
Mm-hmm.
But maybe I don't actually want to see it.
Yeah,
But it looks
100%.
good or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you have another example of that? I'm trying to
No,
think.
not really. With it moving to Florida because of like would people have to consider like some of these competitors have to consider like Florida humidity and
Mhm.
stuff like
Mhm.
on water? Yeah.
If I was
Compared to
if
Vegas?
I knew this information, I would try to do, and if I knew that it was going to be in Florida continuously, there's an Orlando Pro Show. I would probably try to do the Orlando Pro Show to see how I could peak in Florida,
Right.
the conditions and whatever. And then you're good to go after that. There was also, I think, a
Mhm.
Nevada Pro Show. So you would do
Gotcha.
something like that.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay. Cuz it's like the humidity in Florida would be drastically different than Vegas. So that would affect your body big time, especially if you're
Mhm.
traveling beforehand.
Mhm.
So I'm
These are
assuming
all
that's like a
things you need a good coach for.
yeah, that's something that has to be like considered,
Yeah.
right? When they're leading up to it. Like how early would someone get there if they're traveling? A week?
Yeah, probably on average. Because a lot of these top Olympia people, some of them still have regular jobs. They're like this like pro athlete at the top of their game at this very niche sport, and they're still
Like who?
like Ronnie was still a cop for a long time.
But who right now?
Um, Let me think. I don't know who's going to the Olympia yet this year.
Do you know of any top
Some of them are
bodybuilder that
some of them are still coaches, like prep coaches and stuff,
yeah.
which is still in the industry. So, um, trying to think.
Because I wouldn't think that if you're a professional athlete that you're at this day and age, like maybe in the 90s, the early 2000s.
Oh no, they
There's a
make
lot.
way less money this day and age.
Do they? They made more
Bodybuilders
back
like,
then?
oh yeah,
Oh,
back
really?
then there was less,
I thought
right?
there'd be more for it now because of like just like YouTube and Instagram, social media in
But that's
general,
why
like
there's less. Like that's why they make less.
because there's a bigger pool of
So
athletes or
when there was only say like muscle magazines,
Mhm.
they would pay the athletes way more,
Gotcha.
right? So a bodybuilder 20 years ago was actually getting heavily paid from a sponsorship,
Right.
right? Because they
Okay.
used them in all the ads, and then that's the only way they can get their ads out was through the magazine.
Mm.
They wanted to pay for the best because if we pay for him, no one else can have him. Now everyone can have him because he's all over Instagram.
Yeah. Okay.
So the value of a sponsorship went way down.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because hey, let's just see if this guy will wear our shirt. I'm just gonna send him a DM.
Right.
Hey, I'll send you a free shirt.
You know what's interesting that I was thinking of the other day too is that like with bodybuilding being like an Instagram sport now, like very weirdly TikTok,
Mhm.
Instagram sport, whatever. It's like,
Mhm.
from my understanding, a lot of these young kids are probably well more aware that bodybuilding has drugs involved, at least not like untested open powerlifting, right?
Mhm.
But like back in the day, like at least what I remember when I started like learning about fitness, which was through just the Gen Pop idea of bodybuilding stuff, like most people, it's like most people didn't have any idea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just like, oh, I want to be big and jacked like that guy. I'll take creatine, protein powder, and BCAAs.
It was so taboo. Like no one talked about it.
No,
Now everyone's talking about
it's
it.
easy to get that information, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Because like now it seems like it's like a topic of conversation. Like I wouldn't have talked about steroids with any 20 or 21-year-old when I was that age. I didn't even know I didn't even know what to say about. I wouldn't know anything. No one would have known anything. But I feel like now it's like you can be 21 and be like, oh yeah, this is part of the sport at this point, and
Yeah.
these are the drugs I know and I know how they work, and
It's
I
like
might
you
not take
went to
them, but
GNC at 21 and you're like, what's gonna get me huge? And they're like, Muscle Tech Clear Muscle. It's gonna
oh
get
yeah,
you
that was
is gonna get
horrible.
you massive.
I still yeah, what a scam Clear Muscle was. Oh, that thing was so stupid.
Wasn't it just like HMB?
Yeah, which is like some conjugated version of leucine or something like that, right? And I still remember buying a big black tub, right? The circular tub with the handle, just protein powder from GNC, and just walking out of there
tubs
being
were
like,
so cool.
this is what I need to be big.
And you were scaring moms walking by with that tub. They're like, is that drugs?
And my mom never freaked out.
No, not your
Yeah.
mom. I'm talking
Yeah.
moms in the mall
Oh,
from
true.
the GNC.
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah. I mean, it says cookies and cream on the side, so I don't know why you're worried.
Muscle mass, cookies and cream.
Yeah, I remember buying that, and I remember buying EAS purple sports drink. I forget what they called it. There's muscle milk, but they didn't make muscle milk. They made like their own version, but it was EAS that made it. It was their.
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
I remember,
I love those old supplements.
yeah, and I forget which company it was, but I remember buying one of those tubs also from Popeyes, which is funny. I bought it at the Popeyes in Orangeville in like probably 2007 or 2008. I would have been like 14 or 15,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
And I ended up working there 9 or 10 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Full circle.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was quite a different store
It's
then. But I remember buying
My first ever tub of Isoflex,
Yeah.
All Max Isoflex.
Yeah.
My mom still has it because she keeps she goes to Costco and gets some massive bags of oatmeal. She'll pour it in that tub.
I bought so much All Max.
The old marketing was so they should bring it
The
back.
shiny
It was
label.
black. It was black because now all the labels
Oh.
are blue, right?
Yeah.
It was like black. I'll have to show it to you next time we go.
I remember getting the amino core BCAAs, the pineapple mango, because I love tropical flavored stuff, and it stunk.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Do you
the
remember
BCAAs
that?
did stink.
They smelled.
Yeah.
But I thought it was specifically that flavor.
You're like
Pineapple
it
mango.
stinks, but it works.
I still remember. It was BCAAs. It's stupid. What a waste of money.
I know.
But I bought so much of it. And then I remember, do you remember Super Pump, the pre-workout?
the original Jack 3D.
I remember that. But
That was a funny meme. It was like, if she doesn't know the original Jack 3D, she's too young for you. Bro.
yeah, that's good. I remember Super Pump though, and I remember one time partying downtown Guelph, mixing it with beer, and it was actually not gross.
Wow.
Yeah, Super Pump and beer, and we were so fired up that we were like, "This is the dopest pre-drink ever. We're gonna get so pumped and drunk, I guess." And it wasn't disgusting from what I remember. It was
Yeah,
probably
fair enough.
horrific.
Yeah. Like you probably
yeah.
would puke now.
Super
but
Pump, Jack 3D. I'm pretty sure
this is
Jack.
not medical advice.
Pretty sure Jack 3D was the. I still remember where I was in the dumbbell rack at Orangeville Good Life when I think I took that pre-workout, and I remember doing dumbbell curls and feeling immediately like I had the flu,
Yeah.
and I had to stop and go home.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, "Oh my goodness,
Too
this
many
isn't good."
times.
And it was yeah. But that was the only time
Well-
I had that problem.
Let's shut it down.
Shut her down. Cool. Thanks everybody for listening. You can follow Dave
The
Eats.
mic.
Oh, I'm not done yet. You can follow at Stay Peaked on every social media platform to follow the show. And if you want coaching or if you want to reach out to Samurai, you can check out the show notes below to check out our contact info there. Thanks for listening.